It's BFL finals time across the Bellarine, and who better to talk about the footy action than the Geelong Advertisers BFL footy guru, Nathan Curry. Nath, it's good to have you on board here for a Footy Fix special. Good to see you, mate.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for having me in here. Looking forward to chatting about the BFL.
Pleasure to have you in, and of course, it was a pretty dramatic final round. We saw Drysdale skip out of the top 5 by around about 2%. Did you have the calculator out there on Saturday afternoon to see whether Drysdale would or would not make it, mate? I
did. I was a very shattered man, actually. I cried myself to sleep Saturday night, but it was a very good effort by the young Hawks overall, I think.
Yeah, so Torquay did finish 5th. From a Drysdale perspective, what can they build on for next year? They did lose a lot of players this year after they won the flag or after they won back-to-back flags. What can we expect next year for the Hawks?
Well, the majority of the young Hawks were probably 15 games and under in their whole career, plus Ryan Gatkins, probably the best fullback for Drysdale, had a knee reconstruction, so he'll be back next year, and a lot of the young kids will get some experience, and hopefully we can try and get some experienced players to just help them along in their careers.
Sure. Now, of course, at the top end of the ladder, Geelong Amos, they jumped from 3rd into 1st. They get the week off. Are they the flag fancy at the moment, mate, or can we see a challenge maybe coming from an Ocean Grove or a Queenscliff who finished 2nd and 3rd?
Well, they're definitely very hard to fold at the moment. Even the canteen prices are pretty good. Probably the one thing that really might harm their chances is the fact they've had an easy month into the finals. They've beaten Newcombe, Port Arlington and Mottawarri pretty comfortably, and then they've had the week off. So they're going to have their wits about them next week because they're either going to face Ocean Grove or Queenscliff. So I think it's probably a 3-horse race for the premiership.
Sure, they do have the X factor up forward in Jason Tom, who brought up his century of goals this year. He's been a real revelation, hasn't he, since he crossed from Leopold in the GFL. They've got a really good forward line too with Zaparankov as well, kicking a lot of goals. Is that the best forward line, or can we see defence actually match them and stop them?
Well, I think Queenscliff could challenge them for the forward line, or even Ocean Grove. Ocean Grove's strength is really their ability to share the goal-kicking load. I think Daniel Maloney probably symbolises that. He got dropped from the ones earlier this year after only kicking 2 goals. Cam McGregor then gave him a reprieve a month later, and he's come back and kicked 32 goals. So, but whether Amos have the best forward line, they do probably have it, I would say.
Let's run through the other games this weekend. So in the qualifying final, it's Ocean Grove versus Queenscliff. Now, Cam McGregor took over the Grubbers last year. They just missed the finals, and now he's letting the Grubbers into the finals for the first time this year. And I must admit, I've been pretty impressed with their performances this year as well.
Yeah, so have I. Their second half of the year has been really incredible, and a little birdie tells me they did train down at Port Arlington on Tuesday night just to get ready for the ground on Saturday.
Perfect. And of course, the other final is Anglesea versus Torquay. Anglesea, for a lot of the year, were up in that top 3. You know, they've got a very good side. Torquay, of course, they had a really bad start to the year. They lost some games they should have won and got smashed pretty heavily in some of those games, but they've recovered well. What are your thoughts on the Anglesea versus Torquay elimination final on Sunday?
Well, I think you really have to look back to the last 2 times Anglesea's played Torquay. Anglesea gave Torquay 2 of their big beltings for the season, so unless Torquay can get a jump on them early, I think they might be in for another big one on the weekend. All
right, now let's run through it and sum it up. Who's your tip? Queenscliff versus Ocean Grove, one word?
Ocean Grove.
Okay, Anglesea versus Torquay?
Anglesea.
And your tip for the flag?
Queenscliff, they're going to come back in the next few weeks and
win it overall. There you go, so they're going to lose this week and come back. Now, of course, the Les Ashton medal is coming up. We've had some very good players in the Bellarine this year. Who's your tip to take home Les?
I think Jason Tom might stand out. When you go watch the Amos, he's the one you watch for obvious reasons, so I think he might get the top honours. Yeah,
well, we saw Lucas Murphy get it with the GDFL medal as well, so the forwards certainly do stand out. Nath, thanks for joining us here on Footy Fix on geelongadvertiser.com.au, and make sure you catch the 80 on Monday to get all the latest results, photos and reports from this weekend's BFL finals.